What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to another comic book review video. I'm your majestic sailor of words, Supercliff, and if you guys are new to this channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you will always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. And today, folks, we are covering a team-up session between the Caped Crusader and the Man of Steel in Batman Superman Authority issue, which is written by the amazing Philip Kennedy Johnson. Now, following Mongul's brazen attack on Earth, Superman's world has been turned upside down. Conflict between Atlantis and the surface world, the discovery of an immensely powerful new element, dead refugees with mysterious ties to Krypton, and expulsion from the Justice League. And so when Superman reforms the experimental anti-establishment authority team to join him in liberating Warworld, Batman comes to them with a request, a mission that is way off the books, a mission that he can never ask the Justice League to be a part of, and one he doesn't expect everyone to come back from. Thus, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Alrighty folks, so our story picks up on another world, a world somewhere within the dark multiverse, a world where the League of Shadows have risen to that of an empire, for they have taken over the entirety of Earth. Alas, the Owls and the Empire's Shadows are now the rulers of everything, with every pocket of resistance being wiped out, only for those individuals to join their army via the Lazarus resin, which, by the way, we've seen used a ton in recent comics. More specifically, we have seen Amanda Waller use it in the Task Force Z book, which of course, the Z, standing for zombies. And so, our Owls are using the same method, thus with every death, one is added to their ranks, one is added to their army. Now walking into the throne room, we see an individual sitting on the throne that we can only assume is Ra's al Ghul. Sitting next to him is his daughter, Talia al Ghul, and her 3 children are now walking into the room, and they have come to let them know that their enemies have fallen, and that the Gotham uprising has ended, and that the Owls have no more enemies. Thus, they have come to pay tribute to the demon's head. And as we see each of them offer a certain tribute to their overlords, the daughter of Talia al Ghul brings something vastly more powerful than the others, something vastly more useful, something that has been hiding away amongst the stars, saying that their empire will not just unite the world, it will unite all worlds. And so this is where we pick up with the Authority at the Fortress of Solitude, and right now we have Superman and the whole Authority team sitting around just waiting to go to Warworld. Now Lightray, Omac, and a few of the others don't know what to expect once they get there, but Manchester Black fills them in and lets them all know that it's a very hellish world where the ruler believes that throwing these chains on people and brainwashing them into believing that the chains are empowering them, and that through battle, war, and through gladiator fights, it's all for the greater good. So yeah, it's pretty batshit crazy. Afterwards, Batman and Superman walk into the room, and they let the team know that they will get to Warworld soon enough, but before they go, they have one more thing to do, for Batman needs help, a mission that takes precedence. And as Batman looks around at Superman's team, he's in shock that this is the team Superman put together, individuals who aren't even, considered to be heroic. However, Superman defends them, saying that they are capable and that they believe in what they are about to do. And so with Batman firmly believing that he picked his team just to try and prove something, Superman lets him know that he came to everyone for help. But Batman, the Justice League, and United Planets, every single one of them turned him down, whereas these guys didn't. Therefore, these guys are the heroes that he needs. Now, of course, Midnighter is gonna jump in and throw his 2 cents in because he's a lot like Batman, and so he doesn't like Batman for that simple fact. And we can already tell that these 2 brooding individuals are going to end up butting heads. But Superman tells everyone that they need to listen up and listen to what Batman has to say, because while they may not agree with one another, this man, the Dark Knight, has saved the world more times than anybody else could count, and probably just as many times that people might not even know about. And so Superman asks the Authority to show him the same respect that they would himself. Thus, Batman lets us know that he has reason to believe that the Earth will be invaded. Now, some of them are like, alright, this is fairly common occurrence, like seriously, when was the last time Earth wasn't invaded? However, the only issue is that this force is a big enough threat that he would like Superman's help and possibly everyone else's. and he lets them know that the threat, they are known as the Empire of Shadows, letting them know that this isn't the same League of Shadows that they know here on Earth, but rather from a different Earth, an Earth that lies inside a dark multiverse. And on that Earth, the Al Ghuls have been able to reign for thousands of years, left completely unchecked, for there was nobody to stop the League of Shadows from turning into the Empire of Shadows. And according to Batman's source on this Earth, Ra's al Ghul has completely achieved his goals, and he is the only true superpower left on the planet. And with them controlling all the governments, all the economy, all the militaries, all the religions, they have absolute control, and their military capabilities are practically limitless, especially having an army of the undead. Their sieges are unstoppable, and they are controlled by a form of magic that not even Batman has seen before. And Batman lets them know that this is the strictest form of dictatorship in any universe. This is a dictatorship in its purest form, and though that world has already been lost, the Al Ghuls are now looking elsewhere, with them capturing a prisoner who will allow them to invade universes outside their own. And they've discovered that the universe has a focal point for all the others, that focal point being Earth Zero. And so what Batman is proposing is that they go in and they do a smash and grab rescue mission to rescue the source, rescue the informant, and take away their ability to be able to go through different universes, thereby locking them out forever so that they can't infect the rest of the multiverse. Now, Apollo, he definitely has some questions, asking, how do you know all this information? And second, how can the Empire of Shadows invade another universe? And this is where we pick up with the three children of Talia al Ghul, as they are making their way down into the dungeons. And they're talking about Ra's al Ghul, saying that he looks pretty old. And then one of them says that they probably should shut the fuck up because their father hears everything. And regardless of how he appears, he is still running things, and he is definitely still in charge. And that if they ever fail in their duties, he will take them from them and show all of them how it's done properly. And simply because he is not speaking doesn't mean he is not listening. And as they make their way down into the dungeons, this is where we see DC's version of the Watcher, the one known as Tempest Fuganot, in that the young daughter of Talia al Ghul found him watching them up in the stars, in space between worlds. And they have been sitting here interrogating him, finding out all that they can. And this is how they came to learn about the Nexus planet, about the world that connects all worlds, the Earth known as Earth Zero. Now, picking back up with our heroes, we have the Authority, Batman, along with Superman, all training, all practicing, seeing what really they are made of, seeing if they have the teamwork to be able to pull this off, because they are going to the dark multiverse, where they will be left completely alone, with no backup, no way of getting out, and so any kind of failure could mean the death of many, including them. Now at this point, Batman is not sure if his team is up for what's about to happen, saying that their teamwork just isn't there, and that they don't work cohesively with one another, like the Justice League. But Superman lets him know that this team is going to have to do, and not only does it have to do, they will get the job done. And as we finish up training, we find out that Enchantress is going to be the one to teleport them across the dark multiverse. With teleporters being extremely rare, multiversal travel is a huge bonus, with the Enchantress having the magic of very few individuals on this planet, and because of the risk of this, they're going to use Batman to help guide them. Batman then lets them all know that Tempest is going to be their teether to the world, for Tempest has been communicating with him telepathically, and Batman is going to do his best to make that connection. And once that connection is made, Enchantress will teleport the entire team into the Babylon Citadel. And so as we make the connection, we see a giant green blast of energy, and in the blink of an eye, they find themselves within the dark multiverse, looking around at each other, recognizing things that are just completely different here, and that they look different as well. And that is because in the dark multiverse, the laws of physics are simply not the same. The laws of gravity are different, and everything about natural law is completely broken. And as the team make their way through the area, looking on the walls, Paula sees an individual that looks familiar, someone looking a lot like Batman, and they appear to be worshipping him. Now Midnighter, he hates it because he thinks that he's a cheap knockoff version of him, but as they continue down the path, walking through the Citadel, they find themselves in what appears to be some kind of great hall, and as they make their way to the center of the room, all the things that crawl in the night come seeping out of the walls. The Guardians, the Protectors, the army of the Ghouls are now upon them. Suddenly, the children of Talia reach in and grab Enchantress, and are able to get her out of there as fast as possible. And with a magic barrier going up behind them, the entire team is left behind, and with the Enchantress kidnapped, they now have to fight off this entire army, and this is where the battle breaks out. Now the team recognizes that they need to get Enchantress back, but the only issue is that this wall, this barrier, it's way too powerful for any of them to break down. And as the team looks around, they see that both Batman and Midnighter are not here. Somehow, they were able to slip out during all the chaos. Now Apollo is a little bit concerned about this, but Superman isn't, because that means that they have two individuals on the other side of the gate, which means that they have two individuals that could save the day. Now we pick up with the Enchantress, and the Al Ghuls currently have her tied up to a machine that was once Tempest. With Tempest giving them the knowledge that they needed, the knowledge to build this machine, they knew they would need the Enchantress, and so, through Tempest, they lured Batman and the rest of the Authority here, and hooking up Enchantress to this machine, it will give them all the power that they need to transport their army to Earth Zero. And once they get through, they can find other individuals who will help them invade every single multiverse. So with them activating this device, we have a living multiversal teleporter powering this huge device. And with them turning this device on, the two of the Gauls find themselves face to face with Midnighter. Now back inside the room, the Authority and Superman are doing everything that they can to hold off these forces. But with the fight going a little bit sideways, Superman grabs the remaining Al Ghul that is still in there with him, and he grabs him and he throws him to the ground, with him telling Superman that it is simply too late, that the portal has already been activated. The doorway to his world is now open, saying that the way of the Al Ghul is the only way, and that they do not hate them. They want to be allies. They want to bring peace to the world. All you have to do is bow down to the Al Ghuls, to the Empire of Shadows. Picking back up with Midnighter, he's getting thrown around by the two Al Ghuls, and during so, he keeps asking them like, what is your deal? What is your obsession with Batman? He's basically just shitting on Batman this entire time. But suddenly, this is when Batman comes into the room and comes in and saves Midnighter from getting his butt kicked. And with him coming in, cracking these guys' skulls, even Midnighter's like, okay, I have to admit, that was pretty cool and badass. I'm going to see your movie in March. Later, we see the Enchantress freed. And with her free, she can now teleport the entire team back to the fortress. And not only that, but they also take the machine that the Gauls had built out of Tempest, ending any sort of chance they had of being able to multiversal travel. And just like that, it's over. Now, Batman recognizes that Tempest had already been dead before they arrived, and that it was all set up and a trap to bring the Enchantress there, so that they could get a teleporter. But as it stands now, the Al Ghuls can no longer cross over, thus letting them all know that they all did a pretty good job. Superman is still very uncomfortable knowing that the Al Ghuls are still out there, controlling an entire Earth, wondering maybe that they should have kept the generals as prisoners. But Batman lets them know that those were Talia al Ghul's children, and if she is anything like our Talia, she would have stopped at nothing to get them back. And so right now, they'll be looking for easier prey. And so he also lets Superman know that he recognizes his mistake, as he told him no when Superman asked for his help with Warworld. But when Batman asked for something, Superman said yes without any hesitation. But Superman tells him not to worry about it because he's right to want to stay here and protect Earth Zero. However, it's here where Batman tries to make amends, as he lets Superman know that he recognizes his mistake. Thus, we see our two super friends shake hands like men, and Superman and the Authority head off to Warworld. Now, picking back up at the Empire of Shadows, we see the three children of Talia al Ghul walking into the throne room and letting their mother know that they have failed, and that the gift they had gotten for the demon's head, Tempest, is lost. And with that, they have lost their ability to go to other multiverses. Now, this entire time, we've been led to believe that Ra's al Ghul was the demon's head. But the truth of the matter is that Ra's al Ghul is no more. The true leader, the one reigning over everything, the one leading the Empire of Shadows, is Bruce Wayne. It's Batman. And we can only assume that he took to the training of Ra's al Ghul, and he never deterred from the path of the League of Shadows. And with his help, they were able to conquer the entire world, becoming the Empire of Shadows. And now that he knows that there is a possibility that there is some kind of way of reaching other Earths and bringing their idea of unity to the entire multiverse, this will only be the beginning. And that, folks, was Batman Superman Authority Special, issue number 1. And yeah, if you're looking for high stakes in a one-shot superhero story, then you've come to the right place. This comic definitely spins out of the excellent Superman and the Authority miniseries, and with regard to the dark multiverse aspect of it, you actually don't need any prior knowledge to any of the Metal comics from this alternate universe. which I very much appreciate because I don't like the dark multiverse. I think it's stupid. I think it's one of those concepts that kind of sounds cool at first, but when you overdo it like 1,000 times, it turns out that it's actually not that cool. However, my favorite part of Batman and Superman Authority was the constant trash talk between Midnighter and Batman. With the lethal letter daddy taking the piss out of the Cape Crusader for much of the comic, Johnson leans into the metafictional connection between Batman and Midnighter, and also that they've never actually met on panel before, and that their jawing and eventually teaming up gives the issue a strong undercurrent of humor beneath the grim darkness. Philip Kennedy Johnson and Trevor Hershine also expand on Apollo being a Superman fanboy. These playful touches make this new iteration of the Authority endearing, and Johnson gives Batman and Superman a relationship of mutual respect, as evidenced by the sour facial expressions Hershine, Glapian, and Hanna give him, along with Batman not being impressed in the Authority as a unit, but he sees them, and especially Enchantress's interdimensional travel abilities, as a way to protect the Earth. Although the rulers of the Shadow Earth aren't given much characterization beyond the League of Shadows on steroids and all that related, Ben Templesmith puts his spin on their realm and makes the Authority and Batman's journey to their world much more jarring, as the art transitions from Trevor Hershine, Jonathan Glapkin, and Scott Hanna's house style of superheroes with a little bit of Wildstorm widescreen edge to other horror. The opening splash page with flames, skulls, darkness, and armor makes Batman Superman Authority feel much like the cover of a heavy metal album than a superhero team-up book. Interdimensional travel takes a toll on our protagonists as their figures rap and elegant against dark vistas featuring eye-popping details like a Batterif-esque red sun. It adds an air of the atmosphere to what could just have been a punch-up against alternate universe Batman, and Philip Kennedy Johnson and Templesmith show these doppelganger-type figures holding back against an icon that has inspired them to become tyrants. Batman Superman Authority Special shows that a creative team other than Grant Morrison and Kel Janin can tell a compelling story with this cast of characters, and I'm excited to see some of the character moments such as Light Ray going from being a hero for fame to being in real action, or Apollo and Midnighter working on the whole no-killing thing, expanded upon in future issues of Action Comics from Philip Kennedy Johnson. Paper thin villain characterization aside, this book is a solid one-shot with an eerie setting thanks to memorable art from Ben Templesmith, plus loads of funny interactions between Batman and Midnighter. Batman Superman Authority Special, issue number 1, gets a sexy 9 out of 10. And guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button in order to show your support to the channel. And tell me, what are your thoughts on this issue? Did you guys dig the art? Thought it was a pretty creepy issue, but it did have some moments of levity, so I appreciate that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace.